Welcome to the Nonprofit Exchange. This is Hugh Ballou. I'm the founder and president of a nonprofit called Center Vision Leadership Foundation, where we help leaders build synergy in their work with clarity of a vision. You know where you're going, so let's be good at telling people about it and inspiring people. Inspiring people. That's what we're about today. John Graham is my guest. So, John, we're going to talk about life as a marathon and how we keep going today. But before we do that, tell people a little bit about yourself and why you're doing this important work.
Well, let's just say that my life took many detours to get where I am today. I'm 77, and I went through a series of careers looking for where I fit. I was a door-to-door salesman. I was a truck driver. I was a building contractor. I was a fireman. I was a journalist. I was even a minister at one point. And at 53, after all these, I'm very polite when I say detours. My wife and I decided maybe we can help other people who are struggling as much as we've struggled all these years. So we opened our home as a shelter. And we did that when I was 53 years old. And since then, we have grown from one house helping just one person to now we have 21 houses helping as many as 100 people on any given day. And over the past 25 years, we focus on men and women coming from prison. We have helped house and mentor 2,500 people restart their lives. And it's all because we started saying we all need a second chance.
Wow. So, what meant, let's focus on you started with an idea. Now, it
Yeah.
takes more than an idea to make things happen. So, what were the challenges and what were the decisions you and your wife made to make this so successful?
Well, obviously, the first challenge is always money because I had been a minister, but I'd been what I call a poor minister, meaning that I just wasn't as politically motivated as it often takes to be in most church structures. So that's why we went into the street. But when you go into the street and say, "Would you like me to help you?" particularly if you're coming from prison, there's all sorts of political blowback on that. And so the neighbors started passing petitions. There were calls to the city council. There were ordinances passed trying to shut us down. There were threats. At one point, I even had police protection going into meetings. And we ended up suing the city 3 different times over the next 7 years to maintain what we now call Good Samaritan Home, which was our nonprofit. And we prevailed. But here's the thing, it wasn't the legal prevailing that mattered. It was the fact that we were able to win over the neighbors one at a time by basically being a good neighbor with our house and our residents. And even in winter, we would make sure we cleaned not just our sidewalks, but everybody's sidewalk. So that it's not what we said we were doing, it's what they saw we were doing. And to be candid, we barely survived financially those early years because, who wants to donate to a controversial work that's helping people coming out of prison? And my wife was working and we lived off her salary, and I had no salary for 5 years until we were asked, because of my volunteer work, if we would contract with the Ohio Department of Correction because they desperately needed stable housing for people coming back from prison. And we had the stable housing and no income. So they paid us a per diem. And since that time, we've grown, as I said, from one house to 21 houses. And now our annual budget is $2 million a year.
So, what message do you want to leave people with today?
I would say that you may not have had the career detours that I had. You may not have had the failures, but I think inside all of us feel like we're behind somebody else for one reason or another. I think no matter how secure somebody appears, we all have a basic insecurity of wanting to be accepted and needed. And that's what I think. If I can encourage people to remember that no matter what you've done, as long as you keep running, keep trying, you can still reach your goal. Now, I didn't reach my publishing goal until I was 75 years old, but now it's given me a whole new vision of what's possible. That's why we started the sequel, because there's a hunger for this message of second chances. So if I can get one, I would encourage you to get one too if you need it.
John Graham, you've been an inspiration to me, and I'm sure a whole lot more people today. Thank you for being our guest today on the Nonprofit Exchange.
Oh, my pleasure. You made my afternoon, Hugh. Thank you so much.